I'd been thinking for a while that I wanted to get into teaching. I've always kind of known in the back of my mind that I wanted to teach. So when this position came up and I saw what they were looking for, it just seemed like, how can I not at least explore this opportunity? Having no idea if I was completely in over my head or not. But somehow I got the job and I'm here, and I'm really loving it. I'm really, really loving it. I mean, the cliche is true. I mean, you think that the students are doing all the learning, that you're teaching them, but actually they're teaching you. And so I'm really learning a lot about myself as a human being, but also I think my skills as a performer have been enhanced quite deeply by this experience. This is an art form. Like any art form, it requires tremendous discipline, tremendous commitment, an extraordinary amount of hard work. It is not something that you do with sort of 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You have to be all in to do this art form justice. It really requires that and really deserves it. So, of course, I'm always talking to my students about the importance of hard work. And I learned from a former teacher of mine the importance of doing. She used this expression that I love: you have to do business with the music. And I love that expression, and I say that to my students all the time. When you're singing a Schubert song, you have to do business with that song. You have to know what every word means. You have to know who the poet was, where that poet was in their lives when they were writing it. You have to know about where Schubert was in his life when he was writing it. You have to question why he made a choice to shift the harmonic language a certain way. Why didn't he go another way? Nothing should be treated as an inevitability. So I'm always asking my students to dig in a little more. And of course, that's doing business with the art makes you do business with yourself as a human being. And that's, I think, the larger educational perspective, the larger growth perspective. Literally, it was like weeks before I had been thinking, I want to contact Missy Mazzoli. And then I got this email from Opera Philadelphia saying, we're presenting this new work, and it's an operatic version of Lars von Trier's Breaking the Waves. And of course I knew who Lars von Trier was. I had never seen that film, but I was familiar with Melancholia and Dancer in the Dark. And so I don't know, it's the fact that it was my hometown company. It was Missy, who I was already interested in working with. Missy is a woman, and I was very excited by the prospect of doing a work by a woman composer. The amount of singing is enormous. I'm basically on stage pretty much nonstop for 2.5 hours, and most of that is spent singing. But also the themes are quite heavy. We're talking about heavy themes of sexuality, and there's quite a lot of physicality in the role. There are various stages of clothing removal, which was extremely challenging and definitely a first for me. Moments of heightened eroticism, and also great emotional extremes. So that's quite exhausting to do night after night, but I mean, let's be honest, it's kind of the thing that you live for when you're a performer. When I am really in that state of flow that you hear artists talk about, particularly performers, which is to say when the internal chatter is quiet and you're just kind of in this present moment, and the music is sort of flowing out of you, and it's going to the audience, and it's coming back into you. That's an extraordinarily spiritual experience.